Welcome to another episode of High Proof Ashes. I am one of your co-hosts, Jason JB Smoke, and I have over to my right
Duran. Still no cool nickname, but I don't even think we're trying anymore. But we're here. maybe one day.
You know, what would be cool is if we have people comment on the episodes.
What they think my nickname should be?
Some suggestions.
That seems like a terrible suggestion.
All right.
There's no telling what might come from that.
I mean, doesn't mean we got to pick it, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, drop them nicknames in the comments. Let's see.
Some people are very creative.
Some people are assholes.
A lot of people are assholes.
All right, drop the nicknames. You're welcome.
Welcome to episode 6 of the High Proof Ashes podcast. Today we have for you the Padron Damaso, and we've talked about this one before. This is, if I can remember the quote from Duran, my joint.
Yes, I don't know if I said that, but
I'm pretty sure that's what you
said.
said.
I said that's my joint.
I think that's what you said. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Duran, why don't you give us a little info about our cigar for today?
All right, this is the Padron Damaso. As I said, one of my favorites. Jason said I said my joint, so if I did, let's run with it. It is a Nicaraguan. You know, it's Padron, so you understand that. It is a Connecticut. You know, so it's a little bit lighter than what I normally smoke, but man, is it full of flavor. And if you know anything about the Padron line, right, like you know, the one thing you're going to get from this is consistency, right? That's the beauty of smoking Padron. Everything is well made. We look for a good even burn from this. Lots of flavor bursting from this Connecticut, but man, is it good. And I hope that Jason enjoys this cigar as much as I do.
I do, actually.
Okay.
This is one of my favorites.
Yes.
This is one of my kind of special starter sticks.
Yeah.
You know,
I had this the other day, like when we finished the competition for one of my insurance companies. I wanted to celebrate because we had done some big numbers, and I went and grabbed one of these and enjoyed it. So
yeah,
this is it.
Yeah. So I mean, there's not much more I can say about this than you just did.
It's just it's a phenomenal cigar. If you haven't had one, go to your local cigar shop, lounge, tobacco shop, wherever you buy your cigars, and get one. You will not be disappointed.
And I want to say, like, online retails like 15, brick and mortar retails like 17, 18.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Something like that. So a lot of your shops will carry this. So, you know, if they carry Padrones, chances are they're going to carry this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you haven't tried it, I definitely say, you know, you really, really need to. Mm-hmm. Don't let the lighter the lighter wrapper fool you.
No, not at all.
It's going to be, you know, something that's just, you know, super light, not a lot of flavor, you know, whatever. It's not very strong, but it's full of flavor.
Absolutely.
So we've talked about that before. We're both flavor guys.
Yep.
You know, and so this is right up our alley.
Right. So what we got as far as bourbon, man?
Man, so for our bourbons today, in keeping with our theme, we have one from Town Branch.
Okay.
That is definitely a 4-year. It's 108 proof, and it is sub $40.
Okay.
This particular one is a blend of 2 of their mash builds, and I'm pretty sure everything they have is MGP. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're actually distilling any of their own stuff, but they are out of Lexington, and so for our purists that you know say bourbon,
it's Kentucky,
only Kentucky.
It's Kentucky,
right? This would definitely fall in their wheelhouse. But interestingly enough, this is their first batch of this particular blend.
Okay.
So relatively new to the market. It met the criteria. I like Town Branch. Mm-hmm. So I said I'd give it a try.
Absolutely.
Brought it into the lounge, and I mean, it was a hit.
Yeah. Is that the same bottle that came into the lounge?
It's the same bottle.
So you can see it took a bit of a dent.
You know, it's a little about halfway done. And I mean, it's really good. It's not going to blow you away like some $100 bottle, but that's not what it's trying to do. Right. And you know, you're not going to find a lot of 4+ year under $40 bottles at 108 proof that actually taste good.
I agree.
You know, so probably end up starting with that.
Okay.
And then the other one that we have is our little more special bottle. So hopefully I can find a picture of this to put on the show, but this is the Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit single barrel. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna put it up there just in case I Need to zoom in on that. But this is essentially your Wild Turkey 101, which we've had on the show,
Mm-hmm.
but at the single barrels,
Yes.
place.
Yep. So
And
it automatically becomes one of my favorites because Wild Turkey 101 is like my go-to every day,
Mhm.
and that is just a step above Wild Turkey 101, and it is so much better. And
I found this in the wild, just driving around, visiting a couple of
Mhm.
stores that I hadn't been to before, and I saw it. They gave me the price, and I think I paid. I want to say I paid like 65, which is just slightly above retail.
Yeah.
When I looked it up, it was more like 50 retail, but I think that price might be old
Mhm.
because I went to one of our local stores here, and they
Okay.
had some, and it was the same. It was like 60. So I'm going to say that the MSRP on this is probably bumped up to more like 60.
Okay.
And so,
Nothing wrong with that.
but like you said, this is like Turkey 101, like you've never had before.
Yeah. On steroids.
It's on steroids.
Yeah.
It's so good. And I think it's a little higher proof. Or no, well, no, it is 101. Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking it was higher proof.
I'm not sure.
But anyway, I also found a special lighter for us to use today.
I seen.
And this is a pretty interesting lighter right here. And it uses the normal butane that we use, but it's a soft flame, and it is a tabletop. It's rather large. I mean, you can see it in my hand here, and pretty cool. I mean, I think it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to give this thing a go here.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and light my cigar. What are you gonna start with as far as your bourbon?
I think I'm gonna go with the turkey first.
All right. Then I'll go turkey first as well.
Yeah.
We'll do the same.
So, did you want to try this lighter?
No, I mean, I'm gonna let you go ahead and experiment.
There we go.
Okay.
So we gotta turn it up a little bit. Nice soft flame there.
Looking good.
Oh boy, that thing's got some flavor to it, don't it?
Yes, man. Like
Put that right up there. Just right off the bat, it's been a minute since I've had one of these. I mean, I say that, maybe a month, and it's a little more strength to it than I was
you
remembering.
remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I was thinking it was just super mild, but
no, not at
it's
all.
more medium.
It's
strength.
a medium. It's a medium cigar.
Full flavor,
Yeah.
medium strength.
I won't go as far as full flavor, but I would say it's
I mean, it's got a lot of flavor.
it's really in the middle of medium, right?
Yeah.
But the flavor on it is really, I think, what makes you feel as if it may be a little stronger than
You
it
might be
is,
right.
right?
You might be right.
Because we talk about some of those companies that sacrifice strength for flavor.
Mhm.
This is the complete opposite. This thing is full of flavor. It's not too overpowering, but because it has so much strength or so much flavor, you tend to think it might be a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to keep me talking through this because, like, the Damaso, I just get in my feels when I'm smoking one of these because they're so very good. Like, yeah,
Well, let's get our pours.
absolutely.
And this one's this one's taking an even bigger dent, and turn a few people onto this one. Of course, our bourbon, bourbon commander. That's what
Bourbon
I call him.
commander.
Of course,
Yeah.
he knew about it, and I actually asked him about it, and he was like, oh, well, you can go to such and such store locally. They've got them. And I said, oh, okay. Well, let me go do that. And it's not crazy high proof, right? 101, so you don't have to be too stingy with it. And you can really enjoy it. And wow.
We'll go ahead and get our message out there early, right? Drink responsibly.
Please.
Make sure you drink responsibly. Other messages, you are rocking with us on our 6th episode. So please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that little bell so that you know when we drop our new episodes.
Yep.
We're trying to be as consistent as possible with this thing. So thank you guys for joining us again. And
We're definitely getting
being
there.
a part. Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely getting there. Trying to do weekly episode drops. Trying to get some more shorts out there, of our episodes, and we're even doing some recordings like in betweens and afters, and just in case we catch a moment. So I was enjoying the aroma. You went right for the taste,
dude. Like, I don't know. I might not make it to the town branch between this Damaso and the wild turkey. Like, they go very well.
They do go very well.
Yeah.
I've not had this combo.
No, me neither. But it's very good.
This might be a little dangerous right here. Yeah.
I don't disagree. But as you can see, right, like right off the bat with this cigar, you can look at the ash and see it's just a super even burn all the way around, right? Ton of smoke production. Construction is phenomenal. Jason actually said to me when he first cracked this box open, he said, these are only 6 months old. I think that's what you said, right?
Yeah. I
said, it's a Padron. I said, you're good.
You're not wrong.
We're good.
And I'm not disappointed.
Yeah. And then, of course, I am a fan of bands. So, you take a look at this Padron band, right? And beautiful colors. You've got that, what is that, like a dark burgundy back there.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got the gold overlay.
Yep.
The white fits in very well. So, I mean, it's just an attractive cigar overall, man. And if you're really a cigar person and you're into trying different
mm-hmm.
things and new things and going all over the spectrum like I am, then I just think this is one of the ones that it has to be something that you go to on a regular.
It really does. And I think that this one it's a really good entry level to the mid-tier
of Padron
of cigars.
Yeah.
Right. And of Padron, of course,
Padron as well.
They do have a budget line, and it's like, I think they start at like 3,000, right?
Yeah.
So it's like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. And that's their budget line.
Mm-hmm.
But this I would put in the mix with the 1964s.
Yeah.
And the 1964s, interestingly enough, most of them are Maduros.
Mm-hmm.
They only have 2 sizes of the 1964s that are naturals. The rest of them are Maduros.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting fact I did not know.
Mm-hmm. And the size that I prefer comes in both,
mm-hmm.
and I enjoy to smoke them both.
Yeah.
Just whatever I'm feeling that day.
Yeah.
So but this is a really good entry into the world of cigars that you will never be disappointed.
I agree.
I mean, just between Padron and Fuente, consistency is like, it's like no other brand.
Yeah, it's top notch.
It really, really is.
Right, you can grab anything from there. If you're new to cigars, you can grab anything from either one of those lines and not go wrong.
That's right.
And I feel like Drew Estate is getting there as well.
They are getting there.
Right, so Drew Estate is very much one of my favorite brands as well. And
mm-hmm.
I feel like, now outside, I'm not a flavored guy, so don't beat me up about that. But even some of their flavored cigars are very good, right? For me, not to be a flavored guy, I really do appreciate the Deadwood series.
Yeah. I'm not a flavored guy either, but I do smoke them. I mean, I have some, right? I've got some KFCs. I've got a couple of acids. I mean, I'm not opposed to smoking on to box.
Well, see, I don't.
And Deadwoods.
So you say the KFC. I guess for me, I don't really consider that flavored.
Okay. I'll agree with you.
Right.
But the other ones are.
But the Deadwood, right? Like
Deadwood, acid.
What is it? The 20.
The 20. The oh my goodness, it's still an acid.
Yeah.
The 20-year acid.
Yeah, the 20-year acid.
It's still an acid. I'm not opposed to smoking one of those every now and again. They're really good with something that's not not alcohol. So if you're doing like coffee or soda,
mm-hmm.
Something sweet, Dr. Pepper is a really, or real root beer is a really good one to pair with an acid.
Okay.
Just because the flavors play on each other.
That's again, so they're so strong. The Deadwood series is not, right? As far as that, that's why I can enjoy those.
Yeah.
But most flavored cigars for me are just so strong and flavored that, like, I'm not a fan. I'm smoking tobacco because I enjoy smoking tobacco.
And again, I mean, if I smoke 10 a year, that's probably a lot. I probably smoke less than 10, flavored, true flavored cigars a year, especially if we're not counting the KFCs. Because I do enjoy a KFC every now and again. I am disappointed that they're discontinuing the sweet KFC because that sweet tip really, I don't know, it brings something different to that fire cured taste. It kind of mellows it out a little bit.
Yeah, because the fire cured is definitely like if you haven't had one, it's kind of shocking, like the flavor, right, and the strength that come from it. You're kind of like, ooh, okay.
Well, and so we went to the Barn Smoker, and you actually got to see how they make it.
Yeah, absolutely. That was pretty impressive.
It's a pretty interesting process, and they're not the only ones that do fire cured tobacco, and a lot of people don't know that the Drew Estate Pappy Van Winkle has Kentucky fire cured tobacco in it. It's not a complete like KFC, but it is it has the KFC tobacco in it.
Agree. Yep.
And then of course the wrapper, they put in Pappy barrels.
Yeah.
So not as much KFC in there, so you don't taste as much, but and the new Pappies they're really nice. Like the balance between the KFC and the aged and the Pappy barrel leaf.
So when I originally had my first Pappy, I wasn't
same here.
I wasn't a huge fan, right?
Even the second one that I had, I was like,
so just recently though, like the ones we got from the Barn Smoker, and then the recent ones that I've had, like they were impressive. Like, because of course they change in flavor, right? Right. So the last third is a completely different experience from the first 2/3, right? So the Pappy is very enjoyable. So try that as well if you haven't.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Somehow I find that we always work our way back to Drew Estate for some reason. What is that?
When we've covered this, we're kind of Drew Estate fanboys. I mean, look behind us. So like, off screen here is the latest Drew Estate freestyle packs. And I found a place that was selling them online, and bought a bunch for our friends here, and it'd be really cool if one of us wins something off of one of the random boxes that they grab. But I actually tried the new cigar that they gave you. It's smaller, which is why they gave you 4, and it reminds me of the what is it, the El Brujite or something? I forget. Oh man, I know I'm saying
no
that wrong.
idea what you're talking about.
It's the name of the cigar, the name of the shape, and it has it's a shorter cigar. It's like Corona size, and it has a little pigtail on the head.
I gotcha.
So it reminds me of the El Brujito. I think that's what it's called, El Brujito. And the El Brujito is I'm going to try to find a picture of it and put it on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. But it is a symbol in the country of Nicaragua. It means something. It's escaping me at the moment what it actually means, but it's in that little picture of the guy or the thing is it means something. So hopefully I can find that and put that up on the screen for you guys. But really cool. But anyway, so they named one of their cigars, the shapes, that name, and this one looks similar to that. And the experience of smoking that one was interesting. Like, it started out kind of like a Nica Rustica. Okay. Midway through, I could have sworn that I was smoking a Pappy.
Wow.
With just the hint of KFC, not full on KFC, just the hint. And then towards the end, could have sworn I was smoking an M81. Huh. Like, and I'm talking.
So you're talking about distinctly different tastes.
Yeah, and in a stick this big, in a Corona size. Wow. I'm not kidding. I mean, we're talking a 4.5 by 45. And it took me 1 hour and 10 to smoke it.
Really?
Yes. And I was smoking it. Like, I mean, I was doing other things, whatever, but I was smoking it. And I was pleasantly surprised that it lasted that long. And it got really strong in the end, and I ended up putting it down. But very interesting. I'm going to be interested to see what they announce this thing as. I think it's going to be a new blend. Okay. And that they've somehow taken bits and pieces of different blends that they have and married them together.
Well, that's quite interesting. But Drew Estate has become very good at it, right? Like, look at the Pappy, for instance. You know, that's two distinctively different tastes blended together. What else do they make like that? Feel like you get that from some of their other cigars. It's escaping me, like you said, right now. But they've got a few.
Well, I mean, like the Nika line, the Nika Rustica line, they released that the Adobo blend, which is a lighter cigar. So the regular Nika Rustica is a broadleaf and is intended to be a substitute to a Liga, like a cheap man, poor man's Liga.
Okay,
basically. And I would agree with that statement. I mean, it's, you know, Jonathan Drew will tell you, you know, it's a $6 chuck. That's his little, you know, he likes to say that, $6 chuck. And I mean, that's exactly what it is. And the Adobo though is a little bit milder, a little bit lighter, a little bit smoother. Like, so if you're looking for something that's just a little bit smoother and you don't want to break the bank, $6.
Yeah.
And they're not bad. They're pretty good.
No, not at all. Again, they're a line that has a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
But
getting back to the Padron,
I was about to say, what you got on the Padrones, man? What you got on that Damaso, I should say. Get some of this town branch here.
When I look at the Padron portfolio, this guy right here is on an island all by himself.
Really?
I just think that it brings something completely different to the table, right? It's better, way better than the budget line.
Yes.
It's not as dark and as strong as the rest of the 1964 line, even the naturals.
Yeah.
And, you know, so the rest of this, I like to put this with the 1964s, even though it doesn't say it.
Yeah.
You know, but to me, it kind of, it's
sort of that line.
It's sort of like a redheaded stepchild or whatever, you know, like that line, right? And probably because of the price point. And then you have the 1926 line, which is their top of the line stuff.
So much stuff I love in that line.
And, you know, they got the 40, 45, the 80, you know, the Family Reserve.
Yep.
You know, you're talking about primo, you know,
Presidente.
The Presidente is a 64.
It's a 64, really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's a very good cigar for it.
That's another one that comes in a Maduro and a natural. Forgot about that. But that one's a tubo. Like, people forget about the Presidente. Hell, I forgot about it.
That's
you said something.
For some reason, I thought it was a 26.
No, it's a 64. Okay. But it's priced a little bit more.
It's probably because it's a tubo.
I guess because of the tubo, you know.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's in that square tube, but the cigar is round. You know, but it's a nice tube. I mean, it's a metal tube. You know, so. But this, I mean, I just can't say enough about it. And I think the interesting thing, they still number them.
Yes.
And you know what that's for, right?
No, not a clue.
It's for fighting counterfeiting.
Really?
Yeah.
That's well, I mean.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And it's an extra band.
Yeah.
Like it's under.
So it's the one that's
Padron
underneath.
Band. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's not as pretty as the other ones. You know, but you know, it's on all of their cigars pretty much, right? So.
I guess there was a time that Padrones were susceptible to counterfeiting, and so
I would think they still are. I mean, every cigar still is, right?
Yeah, sure, true enough.
When you look at Cubans, especially, right? Everybody's trying to make a knockoff. You know, and some of these people are getting really good at it. That's the problem.
I mean, Cohiba is probably, you know,
the most
counterfeited cigar. Yeah. The Cubans,
the Cuban Cohiba, yeah.
And so, yeah, that's what this is for. But just a really good cigar, very flavorful. Like you said, it's medium through and through. And you had mentioned before, like this is one of your starter sticks.
Yeah,
you know,
which I don't have a whole lot of starter sticks. Right?
I gave you hell about saying
I jump
starter stick.
I jump into the deep end on cigars, so it doesn't bother me to go straight to full strength right off the bat.
But this is something good if you're wanting to just have a cigar.
Yeah. Get
back on the road.
You just want to mellow out a little bit, right?
Like you don't want to get a nicotine high or anything like that. You don't want to burn the palate.
You don't want to burn the palate up, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times that's the big thing for me, right? Like if I know I'm going to have a night of good cigar smoking, I will start with the Damaso, right? But if it's a day where I'm going to smoke, full body everything, and I'm going to have 2 to 3, right? I don't worry about, you know, because the palate is going to be what the palate is afterwards anyway.
Sure.
But for the Damaso, right, you get plenty of flavor. So after this, I can still smoke something else that's flavorful and enjoy it just as much.
I gotcha.
So what were your thoughts on the Wild Turkey?
Why does it have to be $60? That's my thoughts. No, it's crazy because the normal stuff is what is it, 30
for
25?
It's 20. I want to say it's like 20 to 25.
Okay.
For a bottle, and then a
so
handle is like 40.
Yeah. So this is, I mean, 2-3 times the price of a normal.
Yeah. It's a smaller bottle too.
Well, so I mean, it's the same as the other one you brought.
Okay.
It's a 750. So I mean, it's a normal.
It is a 750.
Yeah, it's a 750. Okay. But I mean, it's 2 to 3 times, as much, and I hate that it's that much, but I understand. They're taking
that much better
honey barrels away from the hundreds of however many barrels that they mix to make 101 to bottle this, and they're making you pay for it, and I don't mind. I mean, I have another bottle behind this one, and so if you've not tried this before, I recommend trying it. I've never seen this in a bar. Not to say that like your bar with 200 bottles won't have it.
Yeah.
But I've never seen this before.
It's a little bit harder to find.
So
right? So it's like you said, you found it out in the wild, and
I did.
There may be a couple of stores that keep it in regular rotation, but for the most part, and then the other thing is, it's just a lot of people don't know about it, right? Yeah. So it's one of those things that kind of surprises you.
So good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Wild Turkey amongst the bourbon and whiskey connoisseurs, Wild Turkey kind of gets,
shunned a little bit. Yeah, maybe a little,
And they have some offerings that
are very good.
Definitely deserve to not be pushed aside.
I agree.
I mean, the regular 101 doesn't deserve.
But Wild Turkey is a traditional brand, right? So they've been doing it for quite some time. It's very good, and I don't think there's anything that I can think of off the top of my head that's from Wild Turkey that I don't enjoy.
The regular Wild Turkey, maybe whatever it is, 80 something proof.
Yeah, maybe the 80 proof, right? It's not high enough proof.
It's high, yeah. It's not high enough to carry the flavor.
Yeah,
it. Not to knock it, but it kind of tastes watered down.
Yeah.
I mean, even at 80 something proof, you wouldn't think it would be, but for us, we're used to drinking things more in the 100-ish range.
Yeah.
And so anytime you start getting into the 80s, we can tell.
Well, and that's why we have a criteria, right, of things that we look for. So of course it's got to be at least 4 years old, right? We want it to be 100 or more proof, and we want it to be around 40 or less.
Right.
So that's why we try to find a lot of bottles like that, because we find that those things make for a really phenomenal bottle. If you can find one that fits all of those, you probably found something that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I think that this town branch, really does fall in there, and they have other things in their lineup that I think they're less than 100 proof, but very affordable. Obviously more than this would be.
Right.
And so I definitely think that Town Branch is a brand that you should try if you've never tried it before.
Yeah, if you haven't, pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Because
they're really
I think they're doing some great things. But again, it's MGP juice, so right.
But I mean, you still have to pick something good, right?
Yeah, but listen,
because we've had some MGP stuff that.
What? Name it.
You really want me to throw the name out there? I can think of 2, like boom. Right.
All right, then, throw them out there.
I mean, well, your namesake for one.
Oh, the Burns. Oh, that God, it was awful. That was MGP. I didn't even look at it.
Pretty sure it was MGP, and the Wolf. What is it? Wolf Moon.
I don't even remember that one.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. What'd they do to it after they got it from MGP?
I mean, my thinking is they bottled it immediately.
No age whatsoever. Like,
I mean, it's probably 2 years.
Okay.
Maybe even less than 2 years.
So we shouldn't have been drinking it anyway, because
it was $25, and it was it was one of those it was one of the celebrity ones.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Yeah, we know better than that.
There is one celebrity one that we enjoy. The Heaven's Door.
Oh, okay.
Bob Dylan's brand.
Also, the Blackened wasn't bad.
The Blackened isn't bad, and they have some like special offerings.
Yeah,
that are
Drew brought a Blackened in that was
really
very good. Yeah.
but they're like $100.
Yes, yes.
They're not cheap.
It's up there.
The regular blackened is average. It's not bad. It's not great.
I agree.
So, but what do you think about the Town Branch? You're drinking it right now, right?
Yeah, I am. So it's a little sweeter than I remember. Right? It's got a little bit of a sweet finish to it. Here's the thing, for its proof, it packs a little bit of heat. It's got a little bit
I just took a sip of it, and I wouldn't have guessed that was 108.
You would have thought it was lower.
Yeah, not much lower, but a little bit lower.
I just think
and I agree with you about the sweetness.
It's got a sweetness, but I think it drinks a little proofy.
You think so?
Maybe it's
so maybe not the best bottle that we've picked that meets our criteria.
Probably not, but it's not a bad bottle.
I agree with you.
It's not a bad bottle at all.
It's not.
So we've got probably 5 to 6 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
What you got? What you thinking?
I think that this Damaso is it's amazing. I mean, the burn line is perfect. The smoke production is up there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've talked about this. That smoke production is.
And you can see you put yours down for a little bit.
I did.
And didn't have to relight, right?
No, not at all.
So
I didn't
good
have to
burn.
touch it up at all.
Yep.
Didn't have to touch it up at all. And so smoke production is great. Construction, the draw is great.
Yep.
I mean, the thing isn't, it's not cracking, it's not bulging.
Nope.
The draw is right where I want it. We've talked before about having to fight, through the draw of a cigar. I mean, I had a cigar last night that I had to just constantly touch it up, and
that makes the experience not as enjoyable.
And I had to put it down eventually, just be like, okay, I'm done with this. But and it's unfortunate, but when you smoke cigars, it's a natural product, right? It's a natural, it's handmade.
It's handmade.
Every one of these are handmade, and so they're not perfect. And so when you get that bum stick, that's what I call them, bum stick. Don't be like, okay, I'm never having that again.
Right.
Even if it was the first time you had it. Right? Try and get another one from a different box, from somewhere else. Because what they do, especially the bigger guys like Padron, you'll notice, if I was to pull that box out, they all look the same.
Yeah.
They
very uniform.
Right. In color and everything. They have people that's their job.
Yeah.
They literally have 1,000 cigars in front of them.
And if one looks off.
And no, what they're doing is they're sorting them.
Yeah.
They're sorting them by color.
Yeah.
And so what they're saying
that's what I'm saying. If one looks off, it's got to come out of that grouping.
Well, yeah. So there's that. That's part of the QA. But I'm talking about simply the boxing, right? So once it's gone through QA and this one's going in a box, there are people. Their only job is to look over at 1,000 cigars, however many, and they pick and grab cigars that have similar shades.
Yeah. So
that when you open the box,
they all look very uniform.
They all look the same. But if you go grab another box and try to compare those two, they will probably look different. I mean, so yeah. So you might not have known that, but
no, that's interesting to me, man. That's definitely interesting.
Yeah. So, but this one here, don't push it aside. I mean, it's really, really good.
I mean, and it's the perfect size, right? This will probably end up being a 55 minute smoke, I would think.
It's unfortunate, but true.
Yeah, right.
Because it's so good, you just smoke it. And
you just keep smoking, right? And this was what size?
I think this is a Robusto.
Robusto?
I think this is a 5x50.
Okay. So, you do have other sizes out there for it. Of course, you can get a Churchill in this, which is,
Do they make a Churchill?
Yeah, they make a Churchill.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Very great cigar, man. And that's all I can say about this. I've said a million times, if you're interested in looking at, I'll name drop another. Did I consider it a podcast? What's it called? My God, why am I drawing a blank right now? Cigaring with Chuck. Do they consider that a podcast?
I don't. Maybe. I guess.
Well, if you're interested in looking at something else, right, with some good information on cigars and
Yeah.
learning about some people, right,
Yeah.
from our local community,
Mhm.
Cigaring with Chuck is phenomenal.
That's pretty
And
cool.
this is the cigar I smoked on
Oh,
my
is it?
episode.
I mean, I watched your episode, but I didn't remember that it was this one.
That means he didn't really watch my episode.
It was
He
a
would have
while.
known that.
Come on,
He
it was
would
a
have
while
known
ago. It was a while ago.
But yes, this is what I smoked on my episode was the Padron Damaso. So I
Okay.
am always a fan of these and always willing to go back to it. And I smoke them on a regular basis, right? Well, I won't say regular basis, but
Regular enough.
regular enough that
Yeah.
I enjoy them every time
Yeah.
I light it up.
When I consider, we talked about this before, where sometimes I like to do a progression and I want to start with something light.
Mm-hmm.
This one is always one that I'm pitting against something else.
Yeah.
On what am I going to choose?
Yeah.
And this is a few dollars more, but it's so good.
Yeah.
That I would say half the time it wins out, and I'm just like, yeah, give me the Damaso.
It smokes at its price point, right? So that's the
Very
beauty
much.
of this.
Very
It
much so.
smokes at a
Very
price
much
point.
so.
I don't think you're going to find a whole lot of Connecticut's, right? Connecticut's, which are medium body,
Mhm.
that taste as good as this does. If
It's
you
just
know
very-
some, let us know.
I mean, it's just very classic.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just
It's
great.
traditional,
It's
classic.
traditional, which is why, again, me being a traditionalist when it comes to cigars.
And I mean, I'm a variety guy, but this is something that I can appreciate. I mean, it's just really good. And the consistency is just like, almost like, I would say like no other, but
Yeah.
there's only a few other brands out there that are just as consistent as Padron.
I agree.
You can't go wrong with the Padron, right? So what do we say? Like, you can't go wrong with the Padron. Only a Fuente is a Fuente.
Fuente is Fuente.
Right. And I don't really have a thing for Drew Estate.
I don't think Drew Estate has one
They
yet,
don't really
but
have one, right?
they're quality, man.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the Liga line is, man,
Yeah.
so good.
absolutely.
But anyway, I guess
Time to wrap it up.
we'll wrap this up. Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys have been watching High Proof Ashes. I'm Duran and my co-host.
Jason JB Smoke, thanks for joining us. And join us on the next one, too.
Absolutely. We'll see you soon.
We'll see you later.